Good morning and welcome to our devotions for today. It is truly a joy and a privilege to be with you this day and to be able to bring this devotion to you as we begin a new week together and to ask God to guide us through this time and assist us by grace in moving through all that we need to move through in order for this time to be a time of true devotion and really coming into that space of well-being and understanding who God is for us, who God is in this world. And so this morning as we come together, I invite you to just be here, to be still. To be still and know that I am God. And it is a joy to be here. And so we breathe in this space as we settle ourselves in that space that we need to be in order for this time to be of use for us, in order for this time to bear fruit in our lives. So we breathe in and we bring in the freshness of the new day with all its potentiality. And we breathe out. And we breathe out all that we have used with thankfulness and gratitude. And we open our hearts as we continue to breathe in and filling our hearts with the new energy, the new life, the brightness. And we open our arms and we hold our right palm up on our left palm, we turn down as we reach for the other to take the hand of another on one side and the other on the next side. And we receive the gift from the one on our left side, and we take that gift of love and light and we allow it to circulate in our hearts. We allow it to mix with our own energies, our own love, our own call into this divine space. And at the right moment, we release it through our right hands to the next person. And so we form this circle of persons. Even if you are listening to this at another time other than this live moment, you are with us and you are part of this circle. And you are able to receive and to give. We live in a world of abundance. Feel that abundance coming to you and being enriched and going from you. And we are aware that at times we feel as though there are those who withhold from us. And we feel ourselves just giving all the time. But we are called to give. And as long as we keep our hearts open and our willingness to give, God will find another route to provide what we need in order that we may continue to give, because no one is to stop God's work from taking place. So if those whom we expect to give aren't given to us, then God will find others, other circumstances. We just need to be open. Sometimes it is that we want it a particular way. And unless we can get it that particular way or from that particular person, we're not interested. We're going to hoard what we have. But no, we give. And we open ourselves to receive from wherever God is willing to send it from. That's what this is all about. This is the joy of this new day, of this brilliance of giving and receiving. So we give God thanks as we give, and we know that we will be able to receive. And remember our theme for this week I've heard about you, but now I see you. I've heard about you, now I see you. Hearing about God is a reality for us all. Seeing God in every aspect of our life takes greater work. We acknowledge that we have been too content to hear about God and God's providence and wishes for our lives. We know only too well that God desires that we see. So as we spend this time in devotion, may we be reminded of the invitation to see. We pray that we may move beyond the comfort of hearing about and press forward to see. God continues to reveal even when we are not looking. We give thanks for this knowing and pray for the courage to make every effort to see. Every effort to see. Today's gospel is taken from the gospel according to Matthew, the 12th chapter, reading at verse 43 to 45. When the unclean spirit has gone out of a person, it wanders through waterless regions, looking for a resting place, but it finds none. Then it says, I will return to my house from which I came. When it comes, it finds it empty, swept, and put in order. Then it goes and brings along 7 other spirits, more evil than itself, and they enter and live there. And the last state of that person is worse than the first. so will it be also with this evil generation. So will it be also for this evil generation.
There's a place rich with life where every wave will purify. Take me there to be with you. Take me to the river. There's a place deep with hope to saturate the weary soul. Take me there to be with you. Take me to the river. Lead my soul to quietness and trust. All I know is you will be enough. Take me to the river, pull me off the shore. Here within your freedom, I have found my reason. I am yours. Let the water run.
Good morning again. And we take this time now to go a little further into what we have heard so far for the morning. And to, in a sense, ask ourselves those usual questions which we tend to ask, which we ask ourselves, or I invite you to ask. What have you heard? What has it arisen in you? And how can you respond? Our theme for this week is I've heard about you. Now I see you. There is this sense in our world where we have found ourselves so oftentimes in this journey basically just listening to others, letting others tell us about God, about what they have found. But we don't always realize that a lot of this work is for us ourselves to be doing. We don't realize that we have a task to perform. And that task really and truly is the task of transformation, about being transformed into what God would have us be. We don't always recognize this. And perhaps it may just be because of the way we have been nurtured in our faith traditions, that we pay more attention to persons who have had great insights about God, and we haven't really thought of our own opportunities for insights. Our theme for the week comes from Sunday's reading from the book of Job, where after Job had gone through all of his trials, all of his wrestling, all of his arguing, Job comes to a place where Job recognizes that he only knew about God. He didn't really experience God. He never felt the depth of God's love and care. He had just done the external stuff. He kept the rules. He belonged. He was a faithful member. You know, that can be said of so many of us through the ages. We've been faithful members. We've kept the rules. We've done what we have been told. But no one ever told us about the transformation that is to take place within us. The passage from the gospel this morning is clear on this. Remember, Jesus didn't have at his disposal the language of psychology and psychiatry. He didn't have access to the behavioral sciences. He just had the basic language of the day. And the basic language of the day talked about demons. So, he says, when you clear out a demon, when you clear out an evil spirit, it goes all over the place and it looks for someplace else to occupy. But sometimes it finds no place. And it decides, well, look, I know home better than anything else. Let me go back home. And it comes back home and it realizes that you've cleaned up the place. You've made it spotless now. And Jesus says, well, that demon, that unclean spirit now goes out and finds 7 other demons. And the word, the number 7 is always like a complete number, a massive number. It gets 7 other demons and it brings them back. And wow, the last state of that person is so worse than the first. Jesus didn't have the language of psychology. But in psychology, we would be saying that, when a person goes through some addiction or some challenge and something holds on to them, and they're freed from that addiction, they're freed from that challenge, that they've got to do something in their life to bring about a transformation. If they don't transform their life into something more, they will find themselves right back into that same addiction. And this time the addiction will be worse, or the condition will be worse. So we now talk about transformation in our time. But alas, we've not heard about that a lot in our faith traditions. But that's what Jesus was talking about. And that's what Job referred to when he said, I had known about God, but now I see you. Now you're in me. I see you. There's something about seeing another person. So many times we look at persons, we don't really see them. What we see is what we've heard about them, but we don't see them. We've heard a lot about God, and we have sung the songs of God. We've quoted the scriptures about God, but have we seen God? And Psalmist speaks about this, one doesn't see God and live. There's a death. There's a serious death. When you see God, there's a death. It's the death of transformation. It's the death to the old self. Or the way Paul puts it, behold, I no longer live, but Christ lives within me. There's a death. There is that death to the old self. And something new is birthed. That's what we're missing. The birthing of something new, because we have not seen God face to face. And so we live on. I have heard about you. We want to see you. In the Gospels, we're told that the Greeks went to Philip and said, we want to see Jesus. They've heard about him. They heard about all the things he was doing, but now they want to see him. I trust we can make the effort to see. It is an effort. It is not an easy task to see. It's work. It requires some serious work. So I pray that we will see. We will see God more than just hearing about God with every passing day. May you see God more.